Hello, I'm Ross from Cultaholic.com and you are my sexual wank pheasants. Thank you to the 18,997 of you who voted, I guess. And once again, as you can see, we're in the woods because my voice is Chris Jericho. Apparently it'll break down the walls of Sam the Shredder driver's bedroom because of its volume. It has nothing to do with the candlelit shrine dedicated to Eric Bischoff I saw that I definitely would not have brought up if we were filming in his bedroom. Anyway, let's get cracking with the knack and hear all the WTF moments from WWE Raw. Made a grave mistake, Corey. And we kick things off with Corey Graves and Maggle Cole for that matter, who claimed that Stephanie McMahon cannot be pleased with what she saw last week when the Bar won the Raw Tag Team Championships from The Shield thanks to interference from the New Day. Bull bollocks, you absolute numpties. That doesn't happen very often, so something unexpected happening like that will surely drive the numbers of households watching the show live and drive the numbers of clicks on YouTube videos and whatnot. Stuff like that preventing the normal end to WWE Raw happening is surely what Mrs. Lady Balls herself would call best for business, yet you claim she's not pleased. This sentiment is made only the more stupider when you remember one of the last times we saw Stephanie McMahon on WWE television. She was getting put through a table thanks to Seth Rollins. Not by Seth Rollins, but thanks to Seth Rollins. So surely seeing Seth with egg on his face would have made Stephanie McMahon go oh. Back with Cole once again, and this time we have the moment he claimed the last few weeks in the massive game of tag, tiggy, whatever you call it, with SmackDown Live must have been the toughest few weeks of Kurt Angle's tenure as Raw General Manager. Why, Michael, of course, the emotional toll that comes with finding out you have a bloody son, and one as boring as Jason Jordan for that matter, is absolutely nothing compared to a little game of Takeshi's Castle with SmackDown Live and who can seize the castle first. Although I guess this is to be expected when you literally have a default setting for every single emotion under the sun.
Oh my! Vintage! Superman punch! Oh my god!
So the promo that kicked off this week's WWE Raw proved one thing: Stephanie McMahon hates nepotism. Pew. Steph McMahon does not watch Raw, or her memory is as short as the line of people who actually want to see her on the show. This is because her belittling Jason Jordan by listing all of his achievements compared to John Cena's achievements does not work anymore. When you remember that a couple of months ago, Jason Jordan went the distance with John Cena in a match and almost won on a couple of occasions, proving that he is indeed his equal. Steph's claim here is as misplaced as the time she claimed that philanthropy is the future of marketing, the heartless Steph back at it again, first of all, when she called Shane McMahon Kurt when she asked Angle himself if he's going to go mono with himself at Survivor Series. Oh, they're all down there. Roman Reigns. No, only you would do that, you self-centered. And then we have the moment she laughed off Kurt Angle's claim that he was going to break the ankle of Shane McMahon by saying, what do you think this is? The 1990s. First of all, how can you say that when the majority of Kurt Angle's success happened in the 2000s? And second of all, how can you say that when you're one of the higher-ups of the company who used the 90s to stay afloat all times of the year? If it wasn't for the 1990s, Steph, pal, you'd be working in McDonald's. Steph. Get this right, she was going to fire Kurt Angle before Kurt Angle had the chance to do the thing she was asking him to do at Survivor Series. I mean, Christ, Steph, he might be known as a wrestling machine, but this does not mean he has a bloody time machine, can fast forward into the future, and then jump back to last night's Raw having done everything you've asked of him. That's just not possible, you silly. She was all set to get rid of Kurt just so those lady balls could throb with all the power that was pulsating through them before the Shield came out and stopped her. Roman fluttered his little eyelids, he shook his wet hair, then she changed her mind. She's the one that once fired the bloody pushover. I don't care if Triple H has shaved off all his long wet hair and Steph was just longing for better times. Somebody needs to come on WWE Raw and belittle that woman like she does everybody else. Back with Maggle Cole once again, and we have conclusive evidence that he had Stevie Wonder doing his research for the show last night, because he claimed that Lita's last match in WWE was in Survivor Series 2006 when Mickie James beat her for the Women's Championship. That, my friends, is wrong. As we all know, officially Lita's last match in WWE came in a no disqualification affair. That's the wrong word to use around Lita, isn't it? Hey! On On Raw in 2012, when JBL gave Heath one hell of a clothesline from hell, which made Heath's body go as stiff as JBL when he's looking at news of muscular women on the internet. Then Maggle turns into Stevie Wonder himself, because when we came back from commercial, he claimed that we were watching Bayley, Dana and Sasha Banks, when, as you can all see, Mickie James is in the ring and not Sasha. What made this moment worse is the fact that it came mere minutes after Maggle had just run through all of Mickey's credentials at Survivor Series.
Vintage. Tea time.
So according to Booker T, the five-time blah blah champion, your goal in WWE is to align yourself with the champion, not actually become the champion yourself. I can't imagine that if we went back in time and Booker started calling himself the five-time best friend of the five-time champion, he would be calling him. I don't think he'd be bragging about that, but then again, he's a feckin' idiot, so maybe he would. Maggle Cole's version of Akira Tozawa's war cry was like when your granny starts to Enzo Amore herself and she knows she cannot stop herself. It wasn't so much of a ha ha ha, it was more of a just a Kurt Angle calling Bray Wyatt dangerous and sadistic on last night's show would be like me calling Kurt Angle fat and hairy. It's simply not true. Curtis Axel with your face like a pint of Foster's. Like a half-eaten crunchy with a bit of the chocolate licked off the top. Like somebody who ran out of bastard fake tan. What on earth is going on with your head, son? Don't let that image there distract you from the fact that that man there likes to raid your mother's underwear drawer and dress up like a lady. Never, ever, ever forget. So Jason Jordan was booked in a match with Bray Wyatt, and the commentators were putting over the fact that this was so Jason could prove to Stephanie McMahon that he deserves a place on Team Raw. One question, how does a win over Bray Wyatt do that? Bray loses all the time, so who on earth is Jason Jordan impressing if he beats him? Jason beating Bray is just as impressive as you males out there beating your own wing wang, which isn't impressive at all because you do it all the time. And kids watch this show, why am I saying these things? Who would have thought of this? Cesaro has his own designated seat backstage. Huh?
Vintage.
Dildo? Jason Jordan saying to his own father, Kurt Angle, that he's seen him work through bare injuries proves that Jason Jordan hasn't taken an interest in his dad's life and proves he's a terrible son. We all know that while working through those injuries, Kurt Angle didn't take off any time during his first stint with WWE. This led to many problems with pills and all sorts of madness, which eventually sent Kurt off the rails. Does Jason really want that in his life? What he should do, Jason, just let that injury heal, or better still, bugger off to Impact, work a part-time schedule, save your body, you boring bastard. The chance of she said yes that were happening during the Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar promo had me immediately thinking, well, we always say yes because we all like Daniel Bryan and we're all massive slags. But proposing during a Paul Heyman promo segment is just like proposing during the best man speech. At an actual wedding, nobody bloody does it. And if that wasn't a WTF moment, the fact that the lady in question actually recognised someone was speaking to her while Paul Heyman was speaking is. This is because most of us turn into Festus while that God among men Paul Heyman is preaching his preaches. She's no fan. I'm happy those two got kicked out of the arena. Simply put, a man should not be doing the Val Venus in a public setting these days, the dirty bastard. What's Conan trying to join the Shield for? I thought he was LAX for life with all that gangster. Brah. Man's not hot.
Oh yes, can keep your language down because I've just brought along there with my grandchildren. And they don't hear language like that from me.
What did I say, like?
I've been hearing you swear. Right?
Didn't think so.
I did hear you swear, dear. But don't hear it from me.
Alright.
Otherwise I'll report you to the police. I'm not what you're up there, in fact I might just do.
Might be coming for us. See, if you're not pledging to Patreon now, make sure you do so we can get a studio and avoid horrible old men like that.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
Next up, we have Corey Graves claiming he never see a match the magnitude of the Shield versus the New Day, given everything that's gone on and given the fact it's a Survivor Series, the only time of the bastard year where Raw takes on SmackDown. How many times do we need to hear that, WWE?
Tea time.
Next up, we have Booker in the moment. He claimed that he was worried the Team Red on the same page seconds before the Shield took to the ring to fight Sheamus, Cesaro and The Miz, even though those two teams have nothing to do with their matches on Sunday. So who cares if not on the same page? Let them fight tonight and make sure they're on the same page on Sunday, as I'm sure they will be because reasons. Maggle Cole then explains this to Booker, who says, my point exactly.
Vintage.
How can somebody proving you wrong actually prove your point, Booker? No, it doesn't matter.
Tea time.
Booker claims he's representing SmackDown this weekend while he's sitting in the middle of Raw, breathing Raw, doing everything Raw, Ooh, bareback doggy.
Tea time.
Here's a direct quote from Booker. There's one mean simoleon in Roman Reigns. Now, this is either the most cutest thing in the history of mankind, with Booker thinking that Samoans are actually known as simoleons like an infant would, or Booker's just an idiot. A massive flaming idiot. God bless you, Booker. I can just imagine Kane uploading this to his Instagram story with the caption, "I look cute AF here." Kurt Angle telling Jason Jordan it's not worth it is like, what? Oh, hell no. Huh? Hold up. You've got your own son here willing to literally kill himself in a match where your job is quite literally on the line. Stephen McMahon has told us that, Kurt, and you're telling him it's not worth it? What are you on, pal? One question, of course, why, Kurt, are you even working if you don't care if you lose your job or not? People hate Jason Jordan that much that Stephen McMahon gets cheered on WWE Raw. Well then, I guess there's only one thing for it. You need to grab two of each animal and head for the bastard border.
The end is nigh, the end is nigh. Time to run away, the end is nigh. Bye.
So Triple H returns and he's the 5th member of Raw Survivor Series team. What is this, Stephanie? The 1990s, you hypocrite. You can't throw that Kurt at the start of the show, then by the time we get to the end of the show, not say to your own bloody husband when he wrestled way deeper into the 90s than Kurt did. And well, since they're standing like that...
Vince McMahon has a boner for the 90s. Vince McMahon has a boner for the 90s. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has an erect penis for the 1990s. Tea time.
There's no point in watching SmackDown Live tonight because Booker T has ruined the big Sin Cara versus Baron Corbin United States Championship match. While running down Sunday's card, Booker claimed that the Intercontinental Champion The Miz will take on the new United States Champion, and I quote, I've forgotten what he bloody said, "Oh, we don't know who that is." Baron Corbin. Nice one, Booker. Matt, riddle me this. How are these two here main eventing Raw on the same show when the Shield got back together for the first time in 3 years? I'll tell you why.
Vince McMahon likes big sweaty monsters. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty monsters. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty monsters. Tea time.
Booker, you saying that Kane has never faced anything like Braun Strowman is like me saying to you that you have never let a racial slur slip on national television, because you have. Braun sends Kane through the ring. Tune into next week's Raw where Braun will be doing something else rehashed from the Attitude Era because WWE's creative team can't think of something for themselves. I've been Ross from Cultaholic.com. You have been my sexual wank pheasants. If you haven't already, please pledge to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Anything you can give would be greatly appreciated. But most importantly, make sure to join us.